2/3 of Americans are at risk to experience blackout. You could be one of them, sitting in the dark and cold for hours, for days, maybe even weeks. Are you ready to protect your family? You could be with Patriot Power Solar Generator 2000X. Folks say this new solar generator from 4 Patriots is worth its weight in gold. Why? Because this generator has double the capacity and is expandable so you can run the big appliances like your fridge even longer. Or other devices like an electric blanket, microwave, RV air conditioner, or even an electric wheelchair. You also get 12 outlets, including 4 AC outlets, so you can power more devices at once, and 2 USB-C outlets, which can charge your phone 20 times faster than a regular plug. Best of all, this new solar generator is fume-free, safe to use inside, and never needs gas, ever. Over 150,000 Americans trust Patriot Power generators. Go to 4patriots.com/VTTGW to get your solar generator now. You'll even get a solar panel included free.
Hey, what's up, trash talkers? Listen, it's impossible to fight, okay, if you don't know what you're fighting for. Does that make sense? Like, if you're in the dumps and you're struggling with mental health, things of that nature, it's going to continue tearing you down, all right? Because you're consistently trying to fight something, which is that demon, which is usually something from the past, right? Maybe that why needs to be fighting for your future. Let that be your why. Get the hell up and start fighting for your future. Stop fighting things that happened in the past. Easier said than done, right? Go seek help. It's okay not to be okay. A lot of people need to hear this. You are more of a warrior and a fighter if you stand up and say, hey, this has to stop. I need to go seek help. The stigma, everything has changed. It's okay not to be okay.
Here is a firm believer in all men are created equal, but not all men live equal. That is why there's a certain select number of people in the DoD who decided to jump out of airplanes. And yes, we are better than you. 100%. Now, don't be the first triggered pansy to say, well, airborne's not relevant. You haven't jumped since World War II. Well, that's not accurate, for one. And two, it's like having a jalopy or a 68 Mustang. Well, a 68 Mustang's no longer relevant. Doesn't matter. It's still a better car than yours. So take it easy this National Airborne Day and just accept that we are better than you.
So 2 things for today's Honesty Cap. First thing, how do all my boys from the 101st feel knowing that the Army decided that instead of actually making you airborne, they just create a whole new division that's airborne because you just aren't cutting it? It sucks. Thing number 2, for all the folks who were like, oh, airborne is irrelevant, doesn't even matter. They're making a whole new division of just airborne people because they're relevant. Think about that. How's that feel? Does it hurt a little bit? I hope it hurts a little bit.
This is the Veteran Trash Talk Hour, hosted by Nick, Dave, and Buddy. Real warriors making fun of other real warriors. Try to not get triggered.
What is going on, Trash Talkers? What is up, Gruntworks Nation? Welcome to episode 150 of the Trash Talk Hour. Special guest today is comic creator Steve. And as usual, I'm here with Buddy and Nick. Happy Saturday. Cheers, y'all.
Yeah, you know,
How's it going?
Buddy's muted. He's talking about something really important that we don't
Yeah,
hear.
I was just saying. Saying I'm not green screen.
Yeah.
Like you would think that this would be green screen, but there's bobbits out here somewhere. Little running around. We're in New
you're coming
Zealand.
to us from New Zealand, right? Yeah.
Hello, it's me from New Zealand. That's not how they talk, by the way. That is it's a very poor. That's a poor accent
than you do from your house, man. So
yeah, you got better service.
Turns out there's better service in New Zealand than there is in the United States of Tennessee.
Yeah. It's in the future, so they've already fixed the problems of yesterday.
Yeah,
true. Good point.
I am actually in the summer of 2024, guys, and let me tell you, climate change is a real thing. It's warm here. Just saying.
How's the hiking going? And the paddling?
Not bad. Yeah.
We've
only gotten here 2 days ago. So we went and saw did the All Blacks experience. It's okay. I'm from Tennessee. This is not some kind of weird thing. It's if you don't know, it's a rugby. It's the New Zealand's one of their most famous rugby teams in the world is the New Zealand All Blacks. So we went and watched did the New Zealand All Black experience. It was cool. Had a great time.
So you're sitting on a beach right now, right, buddy?
I'm actually on an island. We did a little tour this morning to if you've seen the Microsoft screen. I did earlier. Let's see. Look, there's the beach.
Oh, nice.
Little beach, and
beautiful.
Then got the island and all the people. There's Quinn.
That's not Quinn
hanging out.
Yeah.
But no, it's absolutely beautiful down here. You guys should come check it out at some point.
Yeah,
maybe I would have showed up.
Yeah, well.
You never know. But yeah, you're kind of selfish. No, I'm not happy with you. So, no,
yeah, well, come down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good time.
Man.
But it did give me the material that I will be using for my honesty cap.
Nice. I was gonna say because I'm a little triggered because I got flight delayed and then got in at 9:00 this morning from Charlotte, and it was like the air.
Well, I texted you. I texted you yesterday to tell you that I might I didn't know if this was actually going to work out today, and it was. For you, it was like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, something. It was like crazy in the morning, and you texted me right the fuck back. It wasn't even like a little bit, but it was like immediate. I was like, why is he awake?
More shenanigans. Yeah.
I know he drinks too much to stay awake this late. He should be passed out by now.
This dude has got that insomnia PTSD part thing going on. I just don't sleep anymore, boss. I haven't slept in 5 days.
But I'll save it for next week for the Book of Earl. But yeah, just so everybody watching knowing it's coming. It's through the airports. You see the worst people on the earth in the airport.
Don't. Please stop already. You're already digging in. You're digging in.
I thought that was Walmart.
Digging in.
Walmart's kind of like what Steven said about the bus station. There's just weird people there, right?
Yeah.
There are weird people there, but those people know that they're weird and don't feel entitled.
It's like that whole page. It's like the people of Walmart. They take all the pictures of
Yes.
Oh, the people when he yells at my wife, "What are you doing at my Walmart?"
Yeah.
Gonna get eggs.
Yeah, at least the people in Walmart know that they're in Walmart, and so they're like it's like the people of CC's Pizza. They know they're in CC's, so it's kind of controlled. You know what I mean? The people. The people on the airplanes.
You're not bringing a Golden Corral attitude to a Longhorse Steakhouse, right?
Yeah, exactly. Coming up here with your filet mignon fucking appetite and your bologna budget. Talking about
filet mignon appetite on a bologna budget.
Yeah,
that's a shirt, Dave. Let's make that happen.
That's a shirt. I got it. Got a
filet mignon appetite with a bologna budget.
Let's get it kickstarted. Yesterday, I stumbled across a documentary, and I'm actually going to watch the whole thing. Are you guys tracking that team in Australia that's apparently looking for a sea monster? Scientists are involved and stuff to try to figure out what the fuck's going on. And Nick, go ahead and play the video, and then I guess we'll
video now. Let's see if I can do it because our
you want me to pop over? I'm close. I can pop over and ask him what's up.
Yeah.
shark was found bitten in half in March 2019 by a local fisherman in Australia as he hauled it into his boat. The only thing left was the severed head. The rest of the shark's body had been devoured by an even larger and unknown ocean predator. But what can tear through one of the fastest sharks in the ocean? Mako sharks are the ocean's speed demons. They're built for speed. This means that something not only twice its size but also twice its speed has gotten to this shark. What kind of mega predator could have caused such a bite on a huge shark? What animal can be so large and so ferocious that it ripped this shark to shreds? Is it possible that this violent encounter was the work of a real-life sea monster? This may sound crazy, but the surprising truth is that this isn't the first attack that has been recorded off the coast of Australia. Scientists have been actively searching for an elusive and monstrous predator in these waters since 2003. Back in 2003, Australia's scientists attached a tracker to a shark named Alpha, which was about 9 feet long. About 2 months later, the tag showed up on shore, leaving researchers confused. They studied the data collected from it and found that around midnight on Christmas Eve, the shark had been swimming normally, then suddenly changed course. It started plunging deeper into the ocean, being chased down the continental shelf edge and down to a depth of around 1,900 feet. After hitting this depth, the temperature went from 46 degrees to 78 degrees Fahrenheit. Scientists were a bit confused because, regardless of where the tag went, that temperature stayed relatively constant, indicating it was inside the stomach of something. What could that have been? No one knows for sure, but the proportions it must have to eat a great white shark are colossal. It's alarming to think there may be a giant sea monster lurking in the deep that can swallow a great white shark whole. Some scientists claim that even more evidence of this fearsome sea creature lies in the strange behavior of marine life off the coast of Australia. In 2023, several pilot whales beached themselves on the shores of Western Australia. These whales were huddled together unusually. Many people helped the whales get back into the water, but they ended up turning right back around to beach themselves.
So the video goes a little bit longer, and the whales, they were helping them get into the water, and then they were beaching themselves again. And then, the research talks about, whales do attack sharks. Okay, that is a proven thing. Whales will hunt sharks and fuck around with them, but they won't bite their fucking heads off. And then there's a video, too, I couldn't find it yesterday, where a whale was actually, bitten, the head was bitten off. What kind of monster, what kind of creature can do that? So my take, 100% sea monster, right? We've explored more of space than we have of the ocean. So I think that it probably is something down there that we are unaware of in the depths of the ocean. And Buddy's laughing already. I figured Buddy would be on my side on this one. But
it's not. Dave, I promise you, it's not that I'm not on your side. It's not that I don't. That I didn't think. Well, we have only explored a little bit of the ocean. It's that you said so matter of factly. My take it. Sea monster, 100% has to be. Couldn't be anything else. It's a giant. It's a megala crocodile that is eating all these. Yeah. It's just eating the face. Our fucking sharks' heads are falling off.
And then the fact
whales are swimming in pods and circles.
Beaching themselves. They're wait, we got two choices. The whales are having a talk in Australia, and they're like, "Hey, mate, we got two choices. We can either get our faces bit off, or we can just go lay on the beach, die a long, slow, agonizing death on the beach from the sun, beating down on us. Maybe the humans will come and spray some water, right?" Yeah. That's real British. It's not as Australian as I would like, but it is. It's the accent I have. All right, guys. It's what I got. I deal with what I can deal with.
Nobody's judging you yet. Yeah.
So, trust me. There are people around me right now that can hear me. 100% judging.
100%.
So judging. Yeah, 1,000% fucking judging. They're like, you sound like my fiance keeps. She's British. Heritage, whatever. She sounds like a Brit. She's like, you sound like Oliver Twist. I was like, because that's what you fucking people sound like to us.
Yeah.
That's why you enraged us in 1776 and we beat you up and threw your fucking tea in the river.
In the water, yeah.
Well, they're supposed to be they're supposed to be like drunk British, right? So you got to slow it down, have a bit more of a draw behind it, and like it's not a knife, you know.
It's not.
This is a knife.
Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just slow
nice
it
little
down.
Crocodile Dundee reference.
All
Nice.
We got
Steve,
anyway.
Steve,
sorry, Dave.
What's your takes? You're good. What's your take, Steve? Is it some like crazy fucking creature down there that's doing that, or do you have an explanation on what bit the shark's head off?
This is just normal ocean bullshit, man. You probably had a whole bunch of fish up there eating that shark for days. You know, then they're like, oh, his little tracker mysteriously somehow came off. Well, I mean, that's easy. People fuck up all the time. Somebody probably stabbed it with the tracker, didn't put it on right, and then, you know, it comes loose. It's just a million things that, you know,
but what about the temperature? Like it's supposed to get colder when they're down there. And
here's a question I have for you, Dave.
The temperature didn't. Go ahead, buddy.
Wait, didn't that happen in the Atlantic Ocean also one time? Haven't I heard that same exact story almost exactly? But like in the Atlantic.
Yeah. So, buddy, it's happening all across the world, but in Australia mainly. This is where there's a documentary. I think it's on Netflix where there's scientists looking for it specifically in Australia because the whales are acting really weird there due to whatever, you know. I mean, I think it's definitely probably a creature that's doing this. I don't know. The shark, I think something bit that motherfucker's head off, dude. Like, for real. And then what got me is a tracker, how they explain how the temperature changed, right? So the tracker went all the way down. Yeah. I mean, maybe somebody just ate the tracker, right? Maybe something, you know, an octopus grabbed.
Yeah.
No,
I'm more along the lines of you know, electronics and technology fucks up all the time. So who knows?
So definitely no crazy sea creature. Shark got eaten or died and then was eaten by other fish. As soon as we
see it, I'll be like, hell yeah, that's awesome.
Okay. All right, fair enough take. I mean, yeah. Buddy, let's go.
I think happy medium. I think it's not a sea monster.
Well,
not like Nessie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's not Nessie. It's
labeling this thing a monster.
It is probably some species of animal that we have not yet seen that just happens to be. It's like, damn, Jaws, I got you, bro. Like I'm coming. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not some crazy alien creature.
Sea monsters.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, if this sea monster, if this sea monster saw the news and was like, oh my God, they're looking for a sea monster, you'd be like, there's a fucking sea monster down here. It was just me and my boy. Oh fuck, they're looking for me. Oh shit.
So, buddy, you'll definitely take that maybe to something that obviously we haven't, you know, explored, identified yet, and it's a creature down there that
look there every time. Like the last thing that little submarine saw before the Titanic was probably some new creature, because every time something goes below 2,000 feet in the water, they're like, we found this new creature. Every single time they bump into 5 new species of shrimp. So well, is there probably
in the junk, they're always finding new insects and bugs and fucking animals and shit.
Is there probably
There's
something
tribes of people that have never seen the outside world?
Correct.
Yeah.
So 100%. I down with it.
That river monster guy, because every time he goes looking for one of these things, he finds it.
He finds something. Yeah.
And he had a British accent.
Yeah.
It's always the last thing he catches too. He finally hooks into it. Yeah, but he's catching I think I've got it. It's just a striped bass. My bad. It's just a regular fucking carp. I caught a carp. The medium size. Yeah, I would go that it is most definitely, there's probably something in the ocean that we haven't found, because there's a lot of stuff in the ocean we haven't seen.
Right. But something obviously massive enough to bite off a shark's head. I mean, that's pretty big.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. So in the Army, I was a diver, and you know what we learned as divers? Everything in the ocean will fucking kill you. don't touch anything in the ocean.
I
Everything
try
in
to
the
explain
ocean
this to people all the
will
time.
fucking kill you. Here's the other thing. You're on
Even
land.
flounder?
You're an apex predator on the land. Like you are the shit here. Like you're
Yeah.
woo. Minute you step into the water, the second you step, you're not anymore.
Like
Now you are.
130th.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not even.
That we know
you're
about.
not like. Yeah, like you're not even like fast. Like people are like, "Oh, what should you do if a shark comes at you? Swim away." What are you talking about? They swim at like 50 miles an hour. You're done. Yeah. So. Yeah. Like I just.
How well do you
Yeah.
dodge traffic?
Yeah. It's probably true. But at the end of the day, don't swim in the deep part of the ocean. Like here's the thing: if you're a human and you're staying within, where it's only 10 feet deep, you're probably fine because the giant sea monster's not going to come get you. Now, if there's a huge sharknado, you might be fucked because it'll pick it up and drop it in the middle of the city. We all know. I mean, I've seen it 1,000 times. But
Yeah.
other than that, no, I think we're good.
Yeah.
It's real.
That one in
It's
the
real.
Atlantic with that oil rig or whatever was on fire. And I did a conspiracy on that one too, where they were actually talking about that it was a sea monster that they were like trying to kill.
The sea monster had a bic. The sea monster lit that motherfucker on fire.
Dude,
What are we talking about?
They were like apparently like trying to like shoot it or some shit like that, or like fucking shoot. I don't know, man.
Why?
There's a crazy conspiracy that's tied into this one
Why
as
would
well.
you?
But
Here's what
in
I
the
don't
Atlantic.
understand. Why do we feel like we have to do anything?
I believe it.
Like,
Yeah.
fucking don't
Right.
mess with the sea monsters. If there are sea monsters, don't fuck with them. Let's just make that a rule.
Again, can we stop labeling them monsters, buddy? I think we talked about this already.
I think we did.
Yeah.
Hey, you know
Call
what?
me out
Dave
on
tricked
that
me.
bullshit.
He tricked me.
Yeah.
He said sea monster again, so I
Always
said
a
sea
part of the
monster.
range brief, right? Don't mess with the
White
wildlife.
white double. That's how they know you. It's not my fault. Dave keeps calling them the fucking sea monsters, but yeah, I just don't leave the sea creatures alone until the sea creatures do like
the see them
come on.
or is it the
They come
see
on
they?
land. They
come on land,
Godzilla
yeah.
and come on. They come on
Godzilla,
land and
yeah.
start like messing with our stuff. Leave them alone. Just leave them alone. That's what I say.
Good call, buddy. Good call. Noted. Nick, what's your take on this?
I think we do have to start a movement that shows more respect to the sea creatures because we don't know what they want to be called. So it's like see they, see them. Like let's not we don't want to trigger these things because they take down oil rigs, right? They bite sharks' heads.
They bite off sharks' heads off. Yeah, probably not the one we want to trigger.
We
right?
should probably be nice to them. All right, and maybe communicate with them, and find out maybe with sonar. I'm sure there's a submarine that can do it. Like send out a couple bings that Morse code they or them and see if they respond to it. But that's just things that we can really target. But I don't think it's a giant sea creature.
No?
Right? I just we got Jerry Daniels present. What's up, buddy? But like how do we know that these mako sharks weren't like mating? Right? And then all of a sudden a bigger shark.
I don't know how do you think mako sharks mate at this point?
I'm just saying maybe they were busy, right? And they were kind of in the water, kind of messing around, right? And then all of a sudden this bigger shark's like like it's possible, right? Like how do we know the mako wasn't wounded? How do we know it wasn't like like Steven said, getting eaten by things for days? Now, what I do think that the sensor was in a stomach. All right, that's why the temperature went up. But again, that's a pretty big leap to say the whole fucking animal was in the stomach, right? Because you have a dog, Buddy's got dogs. Steven, you got dogs?
Oh yeah,
you got dogs. All right, you just you just go throw something on the floor, and one of them fucking dogs is gonna try to eat it, right? So imagine you're just this see them, right? And you're going through. And then all of a sudden, there's this shiny thing in the water with a little beacon on it, right? Like, take a bite of that thing, see what it's like. You never know what it is, right? And then
it's like Jaws, man. They open up the tiger shark. And it's got a freaking tire in there. It's got license plate, all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So you never know what it was eating. So I don't want to take up too much of Buddy's time with his honesty cap because I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, definitely it's not a sea. It's not a sea creature of size. I think it's a sea they until we find out if it's a them. It. See it.
Good take. Good take. Noted. Noted.
All right,
You're
buddy.
A monster,
it's
Nick.
your
You're
turn.
A monster.
I feel like the monster thing.
You guys are labeling
also,
people that don't want to be or animals. That
maybe that's why this thing is out biting things, because it's just swimming around. It hears that everybody's calling it a monster. He's like, I'm not a monster. I'm just a fun guy. I'm just a big guy. I'm a fun big guy. Now I'm sad, so I'm gonna eat that shark. I'm just he's just lashing out because of
just like humans when they get depressed. A lot of them eat, right? Like
So when he's the fact that you were talking about the they them thing. I was just on. We were just on a boat, and they were like doing their little safety brief or whatever for the boat, and they were like, we've got these life jackets and there's these life rings just in case we have a man overboard. And I was like, oh, well, women are messed up. They're not going to get any help at all now, are they? You can't even. What if they don't even? What if they're non-binary? Then what do we yell? Like, how are we gonna save these people? Like, they'll be drowned by the time anybody figures it out, just because they don't know. They fell overboard, I think. Like, how many were there? Just one, or did they fall overboard? It was just one, but they fell overboard. How many? Just one. It's like Who's on First Base, but like a more lethal ocean version of Who's on First Base.
Scene from Airplane.
Yeah.
Don't call me Shirley.
Yeah. So
Shirley, you can't be serious.
so my honesty cap is definitely this trip and airport related. All right. So the flight from Dallas Fort Worth to Auckland, New Zealand is so long that there are legitimately different people on the plane when you get there. It's forever. It's like 15 hours. Like, babies could be born in that time. You could have a whole different set of people that weren't even manifested on the plane by the time you took off. That being said, I'll tell you a little story. I go to get on the plane. Some lady has stolen my seat with her. She hijacked my seat. I can't say that on the plane because then I won't be able to get on the plane. But she hijacked my seat with her child, and so I felt bad. And I was like, "Yo, where's your kid sitting? I'll just sit there." Well, there's this old dude who's taken over my seat. His seat. He's so big that like the little thing won't come over. So I got to sit behind it. And I'm not small, but I'm not a small dude, but I fit in my own seat. Here's my honesty cap. I know that it hurts people's feelings, but if your fat ass takes over, if you manifest destiny a quarter of my seat, you should have to pay me a quarter of the price of my ticket, or you should have to pay for both of those tickets. Like, you should have to pay for both those seats. It's ridiculous. Then they sat their seat back, and the two big giant people behind them were upset because when they sat their seat back, is the normal function of the seat, and they brought food around, they were like, well, I can't eat. First, two things. One, you don't need to eat. You're good. You good. You can do a little fasting. We'll be all right. We're not going to die. You got 15 hours. You're good. Like, you are fine. You are not going to starve to death. Number two, the lady, first of all, let me paint you this picture. You're not going to need the picture once I start telling you what she was saying, but we're talking the dyed red, short hair, large, like, just, well, if I can't eat and then I can't take my medication, then we'll have a real problem. Okay, first of all, if you have to take life-saving medication and you have to eat with it and you can't figure out how to get a couple bites of airplane mashed potatoes and chicken in your face, good. We'll open up the back door and toss your corpse out somewhere over the middle of the Pacific, and then we'll feed Dave's sea monster. Sea creature who identifies. They will feed them with your corpse. That's what we'll do. But other than that,
Are we still live?
And she's like,
Cover some hot topics.
she's like, I can't put the tray down because it won't fit straight. It's not gonna fit straight anyway because your big ass gut is right there, literally so big that the tray would have been folded up on her belly anyway. Eat like you eat at home on your Dixie plate, slopping your food into your face. I've seen my 600-pound life. I know what you're doing. Do that. Just do that. But shut up. Stop talking. I think that you should be able to vote people on an airplane off of the island at 37,000 feet. Bye. You got to go. You have talked too much. Everyone
you got to
hates
sign a
you.
waiver when you're over 290 pounds that it might happen to you. Like if
Hey,
you get on an
here's the
airplane
thing.
and you don't buy 2 seats, you could get voted off the island.
If we're in international waters, it's Lord of the Flies time. Like we knock on the cabin door, say, "Hey, Captain, we're about to have a vote." We vote them on, we vote them off. We'll let them make their case
Green
if
light,
they
go.
can get up to the microphone. Then they can make their case. If not,
And then, by the way, when he's he or she or they is walking up to the microphone, they're hitting everybody in the back of the head because they're large,
yeah.
trying to get through the island sideways. You know,
Yes.
so you just lost like 20 votes
100%.
right there. Like,
100%. Yeah, you are not buying. You're not. It's not working out well. I think that's probably what happened on that Alaska Airlines flight.
Yeah,
They voted them off. Boop.
Yeah.
They didn't want. Then they couldn't get up. They couldn't get to the back doors. They just opened up the door right beside them. Yeah.
Awesome.
So honesty cap, airlines. If you're listening,
What's up, Monica?
People
Right
have
at the right
to-
time.
look here. Spirit Airlines, you got to put your bag in the little thing. If it doesn't fit, you got to pay. They need to put people in little slots. If you don't fit, you got to pay extra, dog. That's just it. Like, you just got to pay. And then some guy was like, they ought to take about 100 seats off of these planes so that people are comfortable. You're not willing to pay that extra amount? I'm not willing to pay that extra amount. I'm not paying $3,000 for a plane ticket. No. The seats are fine. It's not the seats. It's the fact that this motherfucker weighs 500 pounds and thinks that he's going to take a 230-pound seat. You weigh 500 pounds. Come on. Ain't happening. Not a thing. Yeah.
That's the best one. It's like you hear, can I get a seatbelt extender? It's like, please do not be in the same fucking row as me. Like, just you're following them like roulette. You're starting to sweat, and you're like,
Oh, is there something? What size is this seatbelt extender? I need another one. This is just. This isn't. What are you guys? You guys are. You're oppressing me. You're oppressing me. I don't like it. I feel offended. The 12 seatbelt extenders I have. It's just. Yep, out of the back of the plane.
And then,
off the boat.
they get up and the toilet's broken, and and it's like now nobody on the plane for the next 12 hours can use the lavatory.
They can't even use the toilet. You can't even use it. The toilet's not the right size.
Yeah.
Could you imagine trying to get your everything aligned so that?
Yeah.
Man, I feel bad for that toilet. That is. Could you? That's. They open the door, and the toilet's just like fuck.
Hey, Steven, I think we need to illustrate this somehow. I think one of your next comics has got to be the getting voted off the island. The airplane.
or you know what it could be? It could be like what's that Disney movie or Pixar or whatever where they had the airplanes that talked or whatever. It just be, but everything inside the airplane also talks. Like the chairs, it's like the chairs are doing the thing that people do when they're like on Southwest and they're watching everybody come through, and they're like, "Is he gonna sit by me?" Like, I don't know. They're gonna. She can sit by me. Like, you want to sit here? They look all creepy, and they're like, they keep going. You're like, "Fuck!" I better set up. Yeah. Not that I would do that. I never did that. But I'm just saying.
So. Yeah, everybody watching on the interweb right now, what Buddy just did was fat shame people, right? And there's a big movement against fat shaming. So if you go out,
you should be able to fat shame people,
right?
Well, so slut shame people. It's called social behavior,
right?
Yeah.
Like I'm on VTT's Big Earl page. I follow a lot of pages that are proponents of not liking fat shaming or not liking slut shaming, just so that I control the shit out of them, right? Like And again, literally how fat shaming came up like 2 days ago on one of the women's rights activist pages. Like, oh, Scarlett Johansson is speaking out against fat shaming, right? Like, oh, how brave of her. And I'm like, first of all, and I'm like,
not at all fat.
She's
so
not fat, right? You know,
right.
And if she does, guess who will shame her? Hollywood. Okay, she won't get a fucking job. Okay, like she won't be in a movie. So what I just that little typing terrorist on there. I'm just like, well, the good thing about you not liking fat shaming is nature will fat shame the shit out of people, right? Like you're gonna die earlier. You're not gonna be happy. You're like you can't get on a fucking plane, right? Like so, all the things like you said, normal social behavior has accepted, right? You can't expect me to accept your fatness on an airplane. Right, like
well, I don't have to participate in your
guy anymore either, just like you, But it's like, no.
Well, that's the thing. None of us have to participate. Like, I don't have to participate in your fantasy. Like in your fantasy world, if being 800 pounds makes you healthy, okay, you are allowed to think that all you want, and you're allowed to deal with the consequences of that all you want. But I don't have to participate in that and be like, oh, well, yeah. Like, oh, my daughter at one point used the slut shaming thing. Like, don't slut shame me, Dad. And I was like, I can legitimately see the outline of your vagina in those pants. I'm not slut shaming you. Like,
everyone else is though.
That is the reality of the situation. Nobody wants to see what you got going on. Like, that's not a thing.
And then you'll yell at the guy for staring at you. It's like,
but
you literally have the one thing that the reason why he's on this planet, you're showing it to him.
Yeah,
right.
You're allowed to do whatever you want, but and then I have to deal with the consequences of you, like walking around like like you want me to like fight this guy for you. Yeah. Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna nip that in the bud by telling you to put some clothes on. That's what we're gonna do. Can't believe you slut shame me. I can't believe that you put slut and shame in the same sentence and they're supposed to not mean a bad thing. Like, what?
Yeah.
No, there's something magical that happens, in the like customer service and the hospitality like industries. People just automatically become different human beings as soon as somebody is supposed to service you in any way. Whether it's getting your bagel at freaking McDonald's or it's a flight attendant. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, well, you're supposed to make me as comfortable as possible, and you're supposed to cater to my every whim when. Like we're all people. We all, do our things. We all have our own idiosyncrasies and how we all go around, shit. But now all of a sudden, because somebody's just doing something small for you, they're supposed to act like, Alfred or some butler and make, Disneyland happen for you. And it's like, Jesus Christ, man, everybody's on this plane. Everybody's sucking. Just shut the fuck up, get in your seat. If you can't put your shit there, put it under your
your two seats because you're 600 pounds and you didn't pass the buddy inspection.
Yeah. Figure it out. Like, what am I supposed to do? I have to eat to take my medicine or I'll die. Well, I would figure out how to eat.
Why are you here?
Then I would. Yeah. If you have to maintain your 600-pound figure in order to live.
Monica coming in from right field saying it's far easier to be a good person than not. I'm going to disagree with you on that one.
Like, that's not true.
It's
far easier.
Nice to some people.
Yeah.
Who's commenting on? Is she on YouTube?
No.
I'm probably on Big Girl's page or something like that.
Oh.
But
here's the thing.
The pimp hand is very strong.
No, Monica.
Genuinely.
We have to meditate and to be nice to people, right? We gotta read scripture books, pick a religion. We gotta read that to be like, hey, you should be nice to people.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, no. It's a fake.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's what some people call being nice is also being dishonest. You know what I mean? Like,
do
you want me to be? Do you want me to be honest with you, or do you want me to tell you what I think? Like, because those are two different things.
I'm fat shaming you when I'm telling you that I'm worried about your weight, right? When I'm worried about the way you look in public because you're wearing a tube top in the summertime and you're 340 pounds. I should be able
not
to
even
wear a
that.
tube top, and I'm brave. No, you're right. You should be able to,
Yeah.
but it's fucking disgusting,
Should-
right?
Don't slut shame my 7-year-old who their mother dressed them up like they were getting ready to go out and make money on the side of the corner. You know what I mean? Like, oh, don't slut shame my kid. Don't dress your kid up like she is the frickin' product of some kind of frickin' like sexual experience. Like, what are you doing? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, I'm not slut shaming her. I'm parent shaming you because you're a fucking idiot. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for proving my point, Monica. She said my kid works at Trader Joe's and wants to throat punch rude customers on a daily basis because that would be the natural thing to do, right? But he has to be disciplined to not do it.
The absolute worst job I ever had was as a primary care technician in a hospital while I was going through my EMT training. And you'll talk to people, you'll see somebody downstairs, waiting to go upstairs to the main floor before they get a bed and all this kind of stuff. They're a great person. They're all like, talking to you cordially and respectfully. And it's like, as soon as they get in that bed, they're like ringing the bell, like, hey, get over here. I need you to do this. And hey, I can't do this if you don't, like, you're like, whoa, what happened? Like, we're two different people now.
Yeah. First of all, your Medicare hasn't been approved yet, so careful.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The problem is that people have become basically too nice. Like probably like 100 years ago, the reason that people were more cordial just out of like naturally cordial and didn't say, because there was always the threat of some violence. People were awfully polite to like Wyatt Earp because there was always a chance he might pistol whip you or shoot you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
We need to get back to a place where there's a underlying threat of some type of violence. You know what I mean? Like, where if you say just whatever comes out of your face, you know what I mean? It's like even in the Army. Back when we were in the Army, part of the reason you didn't say what just popped into your head was because you were a certain rank or whatever.
Yeah.
But if it was like, if there was a specialist talking to you and you were like a private or even a specialist, I don't know why I'm thumbs upping myself. It's a great idea. Like, anyway, if you were a specialist, my shit just does weird. I don't know why. Anyway, if you're a specialist talking to a private or even a couple of specialists talking to each other, you watch what you said, because there was a chance that it wasn't going to be like some counseling statement. You were going to go out like we're gonna beat the living shit out of them. Like, they might punch you in the mouth.
Sure.
Well, I mean,
woodline counseling. Yeah, for sure.
My first squad leader in the Army, he had the whole spill. He took his rank off first day. He's like, "This is my counseling to you guys." He took his E6 off, and he's like, "If any of you have a problem, we're gonna go behind that shed, and if you can beat the ever-loving shit out of me, then you're right. If you can't, then shut the fuck up and listen to what I say."
Here's the problem with that is when you get that giant private.
If he does get beat, then
when you get that huge, like, used to be an MMA fighter private, and you're like, all right, look, guys, what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna I'm gonna be your leader and your friend. You guys can go somewhere else. I'm gonna be your leader and I'm gonna be your friend. Like, yeah, we're really gonna discuss. We're not gonna. Violence never solved anything other than in war, guys. So, with everybody except for everybody.
When Redding and
everybody except for Private Johnson.
Platoon sergeant shouldn't be fighting in front of the platoons. Like, fuck you. Like, let's go.
Dude,
I balled up Redding's ass.
Yeah.
Platoon sergeant shouldn't be doing that. Fuck off, man.
That's what he needed. Shut up.
I mean, the most effective thing I ever said as a sergeant was, I had a kid, and he just wouldn't listen. I was like, you need to stop and do what you're told. And he's like, "Nah, Sergeant, I'll take the Article 15. And I was like, "Fuck no, I'll take the Article 15. And then, like, he's like, "Oh shit, okay, fine, I'll go do what I'm supposed to."
Well,
the funny thing is
let's get
to the guests so that you get back to your
Hey.
vacation, because
I've only got about another 10 minutes before I have to be on a boat. So
well, that's what I'm saying.
We made this whole show about you, buddy.
You're getting the heat right now. You're getting the heat right now from the fam on the vacation. But no, actually, somebody from Gruntworks.
Way to steal all the show from the guest, buddy.
Yeah,
very, very nice of you.
Yeah, real selfish of you. All right, maybe we should just get a second plane seat. All right,
see, that's how this works. Now I've been shamed.
Somebody on Gruntworks said, "What's up, grunts?" And I replied, "Hey, actually, we have 4 grunts on the show today, so super excited about that." We got Steven from the Tales of Nihilism, which I didn't understand what you would do calling yourself a nihilist, and do you care if anybody likes what you do? Because like the Big Lebowski, you're a fucking nihilist, dude. You don't care about anything.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? So, like, it's going to be interesting to see how this title plays out. But anyways, I'm going to share a link here. I'm going to share a link here in a second that shares the link to his book that he also wrote, so we can talk about that. So, Steven, talk a little bit about the service. Talk a little bit about what you're doing now, how you got into it, and what is this Tales of Nihilism?
Absolutely. So, opening up, airborne infantryman, 10 years in the Army, deployed to Iraq in 2006.
Nice.
One of those nice. long deployments, complete like craziness shit show. And that's what my memoir is about. We lost 12 guys in our company alone, and the casualty rates in the battalion were, at least triple that. So it was a pretty intense deployment. And I'm just thankful that, after going through things like that, I'm still personable. I still, have that like extroverted mentality. And that's part of what led me to write that book. Was there's a lot of guys that can't talk about those things. And I feel like their stories need to be shared, in that experience that we went through. But, that really leads into the comic, my passion, which is, drawing and art. And it's a piece that I kind of like let die in the Army. It's a piece of me that I let go of. I was always the funny kid, the theater art kid in school. And when I just switched gears and joined the Army after 9/11, I was on the same high that everybody else was. We got to go over there and do something. And you just kind of, you've got to switch on and switch off certain parts of your personality for those kind of things, and to make it through stuff like that. So once I got out after 10 years, it's a piece of me that I revisited and started investing back into, going back, painting, drawing, and all that. And the culmination over the decade, the last 15 years, it was like there's a veteran struggle. There's all these tales that we have. There's this culture that we go through, and this mentality that we have. And I wanted to channel my art into that and tell a story. And that's what we got, Tales of Nihilism. And it's kind of tongue in cheek because, obviously we all have things that matter to us, but the story is representational of almost kind of like my personal and other veteran struggles that we've gone through. And it's using that medium of comic books to tell that story. Like our first main issue, we call it The Ballad of Philip Kirshner. And it's about a guy, completely normal dude, who lives in a world full of superheroes, and just how horrible that would be, how awful, and how much it sucks. You think about if you've ever gone through natural disasters, or just have emergencies in your life that come up, that can be something that's critical in people's lives. So then if you think we're having like superhero battles and crazy shit going on all the time, how much worse would that be? If you wake up and the Hulk smashed your car, and now you got to pay another insurance premium, to get your car fixed. You're trying to get to work and you're always late because, they're battling on the freeways and, stopping traffic and things. It's already bad enough. So you put that in the mix, and that's what
literally always the last person picked at any game, like all the time, your entire life. It's shitty. It's real bad.
Yeah. And so, I took these kind of deals because, I had very similar experiences. I got out 11 Bravo. I was like, man, I just finished Iraq. I've got a Purple Heart. All this kind of stuff. And I go to my first interview, which was, it was just working at a boat retail store while I was trying to get my college set up. In that first interview, I'm talking to the manager, the hiring manager, and I tell him, 4 years active duty, honorable discharge, Purple Heart, all this kind of stuff, year and a half in Iraq. And he's like, so in other words, all you're telling me is you have a high school education. Like, that's the only skill you bring to the table. And you're like, shit, man. I'm now 23 years old. I'm 4 years behind my entire peer group. And
I've ever told you that I could disembowel you. How about that? How about the
resume?
I did leave the skill set off where if you don't hire me, you won't have any boats to sell anybody else. How about that? How about that resume? It's hard to sell a bunch of boats with holes in the hull. That's that's what I got.
But it was that wake up call of like, this is what society is. This is what American culture is. And like, you're not in the army, you're not safe anymore. You don't have the band of brothers behind you. And if you want to eat, you've got to let go of your ego. You've got to freaking do a lot of hard stuff. And, I'm like, all right, here we go. And going through that, over the last 15 years, I've done a lot of different types of work in a lot of different industries. Worked in the oil field, worked in security, worked in freaking hospitality, EMT, all that. And you find these same like problems everywhere with the veteran community of all these guys who are struggling to make it in these industries, and they just keep getting like passed over. Or you get out of the military and all your experience and things that should be certified aren't certified. It's a struggle. So I was like, I want to take this kind of struggling tale and channel it with my art and tell this kind of story. And that's, what we came up with on that.
Nice. We got every day's a Saturday USMC saying, what's going on, y'all? And then I said, nothing, just go buy his book. Right. So it doesn't have to go look for
so the book
job.
And then the comic is available. The comic book is available as well. It's just like the book right now. I might have missed that portion. So
we've got 6 issues up on Global Comics. If you go to Global Comics and do Tales of Nihilism, we've got that. And we offer
link is in the chat.
And we offer short stories, and we do free comic strips as well, kind of like Sunday Funnies, type deals.
Mm-hmm.
But the main first story, we've got 6 issues out of that, and you can go on there and
nice.
I think the first issue is always free, so you can read the first issue, and if you like it, go to the next ones. And after like page 10, I think you have to do the paywall credits and all that kind of stuff.
Nice. Hey, we got a lot of chatter on YouTube right now, and I know I have the master controls that Chris gave me, so I can see all of them.
You gotta smash that like button and subscribe.
All of you watching on the Facebook-ish thing right now, we have it. We have a YouTube channel, so go over there, like it, subscribe to it as well. And again, what we're doing here, for those of you watching for the first time, is promoting and helping whatever veterans are doing, whatever they're doing. Right? We don't care, and don't think that because we had John Troxel, Surrender or Die on the show, or we had some 4-star general on here, that means we won't bring specialist Snuffy on here who's doing something else, right? Like, it does not matter.
We'll also talk shit to 4-star generals.
Yeah, we also talk shit to 4-star generals. So you got to come out here and do it.
We did. Go watch that episode.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the best piece of advice I ever got was from David Petraeus, So, and I was out in Iraq. It's actually, the story's in the book. We were out at the COP. It was the first COP that they ever had in Iraq. So he was going to, see what we were doing. And he shows up, and out of all the goddamn OPs, he has to show up to my OP, and this is Private Russell's, at the time. I'm rocking 2 Article 15s. I'm feeling like the lowest I've felt at the time. And I'm just like, God
but
damn.
Thankfully, it was 2008. You're still in the Army.
Yeah. But
he got an honorable discharge. Look at that.
Yeah. But he comes up to my OP, and he's looking around, and he takes off his freaking helmet, and I was just trying to explain like the range cards and do stupid shit because I'm nervous, and I just happened to tell him, I was like, yeah, we get shot at like every day from that building over there. And he sticks his head outside my blast shield underneath, you know, where our 50 cal's mounted. And it just like, my mind explodes, and I'm seeing like David Petraeus dies on Private Russell's OP. It's his fault, you know, fuck this guy. I'm just like, ah. So I grab him by his IBA and I like tug him back. And when I do, his whole entourage like freaks out because I've touched a general, and they like throw me on the floor and they're kicking the shit out of me. And just, you know, like,
What?
Yeah, they're like, what is he doing? He's
They
attacking
got
the general.
knuckle draggers that protect those guys.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
But of all the people,
And they're not
you know,
that bright.
Yeah.
Petraeus
Yeah.
was the one. He reached his arm out and he pulls me up and he's like, hey, remember, it's all right. You can always check up. And I was like, oh shit. And then I opened my hand and I had his coin in my hand. And I was just like, Jesus
I
Christ.
just saved your life.
That was a buy his way out of getting his own Article 15 coin.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I know my guys beat you the shit out of you a little bit, but here's a coin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rub that on your bruises.
yeah.
You'll be fine.
Give a coin and maybe like a Burger King or something out of the helicopter.
I'm going to take that
Yeah.
little piece just now and I'm going to throw it on TikTok and make that go viral. That'd be a hell of a story if you don't
Hell
mind.
yeah.
So, I mean,
Absolutely.
Yeah, so then talk about like how did like you talk a little bit about getting into the comics. What other you said, have you honored all of your brothers and sisters, or just have you honored all of them through a comic, or is it just a couple, or is that like the process that we're going for, or is it just whatever pops in your head that day we're going to make a comic about it, or is there more of like a structure to it?
No, it's more of the theme behind it. So it's nothing in specific. Like I'm not taking, you know, people from real life and putting them in there. I am drawing on real life experiences and things that people have told me, you know, and I've had buddies that we've deployed with that, you know, of every different variety of getting out as a veteran. Some, you know, getting out with less than honorable conditions, some getting out, you know, and they've got the world set up for them and they're still finding, you know, difficulties. And so I was like, I just want to take this idea, these stories, and channel it into my art and bring that out. And one of the best like compliments I got was, you know, a fellow vet who read it and he was like, yeah, you know, I look at this story and I can't relate to like Superman or Batman, but I can relate to your character. And I was like, that's what I'm going for.
Yeah, it's usually how people feel
That's
when they
what's
come
up.
on the Trash Talk Hour. It's just a normal person amongst giants, you know, and so you know, we have to deal with that and, you know, swallow our pride once in a while. But, like,
Very true. Hey, I got to
very
jump back
true.
on this boat. I got to
all
jump
right, buddy,
back on this boat,
enjoy
guys.
New Zealand.
Hi,
Enjoy
buddy.
New Zealand.
Yeah. We'll see you guys later. Hey, it was great meeting you, Steve. We'll
Remember,
we'll
tell-
talk to you.
hey, tell Quinn he's right 60% of the time against you.
No, he's not. He's always wrong. Everybody knows that. All right. Well, we'll talk to you guys later.
All right, buddy.
Later, brother.
Heck yeah.
All right. Well, perfect. We got rid of him. That was good. No, yeah. Thanks for Buddy for coming on and doing this. And again, I keep sharing it for the people watching it for the first time. It's like this is our therapy. You know, Buddy's in New Zealand, still wants to get, probably after day of travel, he probably needed to bullshit with us for an hour, you know, just you know, to get it going again. But the book, you said the book's on pre-sale.
Yep.
Right. And that link's in there too. And it's blueearbooks.com/books/troublemakers.
Yeah. So the title is Troublemakers, the Greatest Dog and Pony Show in Iraq. And Troublemakers was the name of our platoon because everyone in the platoon had at least one Article 15. So
Hell.
Sound like first squad in our platoon.
Yeah. So you already get kind of like the idea of who was there, you know. and yeah, it was a complete wild, crazy deployment that was just, I mean, I had guys who they were in Sadr City and they were just like, no, this isn't normal, like what we're going through. And it just embodied that, you know, total like shit show. You have guys up at the top who just aren't managing things correctly. And ever since then, it's always been a piece of me where, you know, you start to see people in power, you see people in authority, and you're like, you need to be accountable because that's why you're there, you know. And I've seen the worst things happen because people in those positions, you know, basically aren't doing their due diligence, and you're just like, holy shit.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm really excited to have you on and promote these things. As I was able to check out one of the page for about 15 minutes on the flight, and like I said, I've had a pretty crazy week, so I'm going to get back into this and definitely get into your book. We'll get that ordered. And again, so everybody go buy his book, even if you don't like it, then give it to someone else. Right? That's
Absolutely.
somebody else. Like, there you go. But,
Yeah. Friends, family, enemies, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Go buy his book. Go support our veteran brother Steven here. And you got a partner, right? You just couldn't make the show.
Yeah. So on my comic, I work with Joseph Pittman. He's my script writer, and I do the story conceptualizing and then the art, and he refines it down into the script, you know, so we can put it in the panels and have the lettering and all that good stuff. That's part of the journey too, is, you know, having somebody that can hold you accountable and work with that. You know, it's been a great way to refine that process, especially since I'm not educated. I didn't go out to an art school. I didn't go get formal training and stuff. I'm just a lifelong learner, sitting down with pencils, paper, and all that. And I taught myself how to do it digitally, which was a huge learning curve. I was like, took me like a year and a half to figure that out. But yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing that scared. That's even scared me in ventures in my life, where once you hit that technology bump, and you don't have the education, it's like,
yeah,
a lot of people just quit. They're like, you know, fuck it. Like I'll just keep drawing these stick figures, you know. And it's like, no, nothing. So yeah, hats off to you for self-teaching yourself that and doing that, because again, that's a skill you probably learned some other time as a grunt. You know, just make it happen, right?
Yeah.
And so you just tell me the name of the book already, Daniel. We fucking said it like 3 times, and it's in the chat thread. All right, it's Troublemakers. All right, so go buy it. All right, it's Blue Ear Books, Troublemakers. Scroll up in the chat thread, you'll see it. But yeah, we'll definitely get that. So all right, let's do the AAR before we do the last word.
I forgot to tell you, on the book, I did the cover art, the rear art, and there's chapter art in there as well. So everything you see in there is, you know, all done by me. So
nice.
Perfect. But let me give the AAR real quick, and then I'm just going to share the link with this guy so he can go buy the book. Again, because I guess I have the power to do that. So because I have the controls. But yeah, AAR real quick, guys. You know, turns out we don't know what to call things in the sea. We don't want to be disrespectful to them. All right. So
sea creature.
Yeah, sea creature. But even then, creature could be, you know, so it could trigger something. Like, are you really a creature? Right. So, you know, like I'm a mammal. All right. Like I'm a sea mammal. All right. So let's try to be polite. Let's try to be respectful of the sea creatures or thems.
Yeah.
The sea days. So we covered that. Buddy is 100% about fat shaming, and I'm pretty sure most infantry guys agree with him. All right. Like we 100% fat shame people in our freaking platoons until they weren't fat anymore. We kicked them out. So that's just what we did, because it wasn't healthy. All right. So like, it could get your whole squad killed. So we talked about that. And then we got Steven on here, a grunt, who decided to color. And once he realized that just coloring wasn't going to do enough, then he had to do it on a computer. So he taught himself. And we got that going for us, which is nice. But hey, stick around after we cut the live, because I wanted to chat with you about something. And then before that, also, David Gray just came on. I do want to talk about that. David Gray, he sent me a message, this week, said, we don't allow GoFundMes on VTT Official or Veteran Trash Talk because we can't. It's a lot of bandwidth to actually verify if it's real. So we don't want to put that.
No, when we were newbies at all this, we got burned too.
Yeah, we did get burned.
Yeah.
So it's like we didn't want to. It's hard to verify that stuff. So, however, David Gray is already a verified person, and something really, really fucking awful happened to his child at home, and some wildfires went through and absolutely torched everything. And correct me if I'm wrong, David, but your dad, a Vietnam veteran living there, right? And the house is gone, right? Nothing left, right? So we put that fundraiser on there so that we can help him stay. So if you can, all right, again, like a church offering plate, if you can, right, like give him some money, all right. And then if not, again, it's a trusted and verified source. If you do ever have something like that as part of our community, don't get all triggered. Don't be a triggered fucking pansy when we tell you no the first time. All right. And it even tells you on VTT official, no promotional posts or GoFundMe's, but underneath it, if you read, it says contact the admin. All right. Because it's going to automatically get denied. So contact us. Let us do some research on it, and then we'll help you out. All right. So that's what it is. All right. Last words from Steven, and Dave can close us out.
Yeah. Speaking about all that did make me remember that we're attending 2 conventions this year. Plastic City Comic-Con in near Boston, and Veteran Comic-Con San Francisco in November. And the way that we do fund these and do our publishing, the physical publishing of the book, is we offer advertising in the comic. So if you're a veteran small business and you want to get on that and, purchase some advertising space, it's a perfect place. Even especially Veteran Comic-Con, that's going to be veteran centric in the community and artists. So it'd be a great place to promote your stuff.
Awesome.
Nice.
Thanks, Steven.
I like it. Yeah, good stuff, brother. I appreciate everything that you're doing. I will order the book today. For you Marines that are watching, I mean, get the comic. It's pictures, because they can't read. So, a little joke.
Tell stories.
Yeah.
It tells stories, right? Pictures tell stories, right? Yeah. But anyway,
there's blood
thanks
gore in there
everybody
for you.
tuning in. Yeah. Today I'm wearing the Irish Infidel shirt. We do have St. Patrick's Day coming up, so you might want to go check out shop.veterantrashtalk.com. Get you an awesome tee. We got a bunch of St. Patty's Day shirts, safety brief line, all that good stuff. So go check those out. Support the cause. And if you tuned in late, go to VeteranTrashTalk.com. That has the links to our YouTube, to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. Thank you, everybody. We love you guys, and we'll be back next Saturday. Boom.
I wish I could make that ending. This is a food warning. The UN warns of an unprecedented global hunger crisis. In fact, it's predicted by 2030 that 800 million folks will struggle to feed their families, which means 2 dangerous things for you. Number 1, higher prices at the grocery store. Number 2, less food available. And when panic strikes, it will be chaos, making it even harder to get the food your family needs to survive. That's why it's vital, more than ever, to have a survival food stockpile. Introducing the deluxe 3-month survival food kit from 4 Patriots. It has 688 servings of meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, with delicious recipes like pancakes, mac and cheese, Aztec chili, and potato soup. They've even got spaghetti and lasagna. This isn't your typical survival food, and over 200,000 smart Americans agree. This is survival food that actually tastes good. But best of all, it's designed to last up to 25 years. You can stash it away and be confident that when a disaster strikes, you and your family will be ready. Go to 4patriots.com/VTT to get the deluxe 3-month survival food kit and the peace of mind you deserve.